Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. The NBA season is finally upon us now. It's only a 2-game slate for opening night, but I'll still be going position by position. So starting off with point guard, you can play LeBron here. I'm gonna probably play him a lot at small forward. Not sure what I'm gonna do now with the Zion news that just broke. But there's gonna be players that I want to play at point guard who I'm not gonna be able to do if LeBron is here. Guys like Drew now, all the Pelicans guys get bumps. Kyle Lowry, Lou, Lonzo, maybe Rondo. So probably LeBron's going to be a small forward play for me. But as an overall play, I think that LeBron's going to be very risky to fade because for short slates like this, it's going to be hard to make up the points if an expensive player does really well. So you're going to be really behind in the pack with the cheaper players that you play. Next, Drew Holiday. I think he is fine. We don't really know how the Pelicans' offense will be, but with the Zion injury news that he's going to miss the first few weeks of the season, I think all these Pelicans are going to have to do more. I think that's a logical expectation. Drew 7,900 is I would say he's priced about right. He's got 50-point upside, and there's a lot of guys surrounding him that are capable of handling the ball, though, like Lonzo and Brandon Ingram. So I think I'll have some of him, but not going to have a whole lot. Kyle Lowry, he's cheaper than Drew here, $1,100. And he's going to have a lot more ball handling responsibilities with Kawhi and Danny Green leaving Toronto. So I think that is a good matchup because the Pelicans do play fast. Lonzo and Drew are both terrific on-ball defenders, but Lowry just has the role that he has with the Raptors now. I think he's gonna have to do more. 6,800 is a fair price for him. Lou Will 6,500. I like him. I'd say more than Lowry because with Paul George out for the start of the season, it's gonna be Kawhi and Lou Will that's gonna have to carry this Clippers offense. Lonzo 5.4K. To me, he seems a little bit underpriced because he's able to contribute in a lot of different ways, just like Rondo. Both of them, they don't need to score double-digit real-life points. They can easily have very good games just because they get so many assists, rebounds, and defensive stats. For Rondo, though, I would say he has to start. He can definitely get there somehow if he's coming off the bench, but I just think that if Rondo starts, he has triple-double upside, and maybe that's not as much as this season with the talent that the Lakers do have now. LeBron handling the ball, sometimes playing point guard. So still, though, I think Rondo has just the double-digit assists potential for every slate. Next, Patrick Beverley, 5K. I think that he's somewhat in play because he's a solid rebounder for the position and he could play some pretty heavy minutes just for his defense. And we've seen him, like last season, if we look, he has some games where, he gets 30, which for 30 DraftKings points at 5K, it's going to be a phenomenal return of value. And some games even he hit double-digit rebounds in the playoffs, 40 DraftKings points, very solid. Fred VanVleet, I think he's in play, regardless if he starts or not. He's probably going to get at least like 24 minutes. And he's going to have also increased opportunities. He's going to be a solid fantasy producer. He has been in the past. So I think for 4,800, definitely that's a good price for Fred VanVleet. And then Avery Bradley, 4,100. He's a player that's known for his defense. He is cheap. He could get minutes to guard Lou Will, but Bradley is more of a scoring dependent kind of guy. He has to be shooting pretty well. He is cheap, so he doesn't have to do a whole lot, but he doesn't get enough rebounds and assists. He did have some pretty solid games last year for the Grizzlies, but this is going to be just a completely different situation, so that's probably not going to happen where we're going to get a game like 23-7-7 or something like that. That's about it for point guard. For shooting guard, I think guys like that I haven't mentioned, Danny Green, JJ Redick, they're just really shooting dependent. So that's going to be two guys that I'm probably not going to have maybe any of. And KCP, 4,300. He's my guy. Big reason why I won 4K. It's the same exact matchup against the Clippers, but he's also a scoring dependent guy. Could grab some rebounds, but that's going to be something that probably can determine if he's a good player or not. And you probably need just other guys are just better options out there. So KCP not going to be a guy that I go to a whole lot. Powell for 4K, I think he's in play because he's a guy that could also get like around 24 minutes. He had some solid games just throughout his Toronto career. So I think the price is good. With just standing green out of town, Kawhi Powell, he's gonna be a guy that should definitely fill in some of the roles that are left open now. Small forward, Kawhi, definitely he's going to be in play for me, but I think with all the other players like LeBron and AD, who are two guys that I would rather pay up for, I think Kawhi could be a little bit too high owned based on just how well he played last year. But Kawhi is definitely a better in real life player than fantasy player. LeBron and AD are more fantasy friendly players, and Paul George is going to miss this game, true. But Kawhi Leonard, he is not the same fantasy player once again. He doesn't get the same kind of assists, rebounds he can definitely get there with. But this guy, he's a hell of a player. We know that. But just for the price, I think LeBron and Anthony Davis are going to be better plays. They are priced very similar, all three of them, to each other. And Kawhi, he's been the guy that's been priced around 9.6K. Like last year we've seen towards the end. But a guy like Anthony Davis, LeBron, even they've been 5-digit price tags kind of guys. AD's been around like 12K. I just think that they're both way underpriced. Kawhi is actually priced about right here. I think for his role, he's actually been like 80 or high 8Ks before even Paul George is out. So it definitely is understandable and just how well he's played. So 9.6K Kawhi, I'll get to him, but just not a lot compared to LeBron and AD. Ingram's price, I think he's a nice play as well. 5,800 seems like a nice price tag. He's definitely still going to be one of those younger players that has a whole lot of potential still. So if he gets peripheral stats, he can definitely get there. And then OG Anunoby, JaMychal Green, Mo Harkless, they can all be potential value plays. They're all under 4K, so that's what makes them appealing. JaMychal Green and Harkless, probably more so than Anunoby because they are going to have to pick up the minutes with Paul George out for the start of the season. Green has, I would say, more rebounding upside, but Harkless can get you there with his defensive stats. And they're just really similarly priced. Green, I'd say, he probably gets a start because he's a little bit bigger just in terms of like his body type. So I think Green in play, Harkless as well. All three of these guys, but they are going to have tough matchups defending LeBron and AD, but they're cheap, so they don't have to do too much. Next, power forward, Anthony Davis. He is the top play of the slate. I'm going to have a whole lot of him. People like to joke around how he's always going to be head of the locker room, and that is true, but he actually was pretty durable last season. I think he played like 72 games throughout the season, and we know when he does play a full game, he has 80-point DraftKings upside. So against a Clippers team that lacks size, this is a absolutely smash spot for Anthony Davis. NBA isn't really like NFL where like if a player takes a hit, then they could be out for the rest of the game. I usually don't tend to have a NFL player over 70%, but for NBA, I'm definitely fine with taking close to 100, even like all, if it's like a value play. And I think I'm going to be close to around 100% for AD. I just really like him, and again, it's a small slate, so we want to pay up for the studs. Next, Yocum, 7,600. He's one of my favorite players, but I think this is about the right price tag that you expect for Siakam. I think he definitely gets a bump with Zion out, but Siakam, I don't think that you probably need him to win a GPP because he has 50-point upside, but I think that it's just better to pay up for guys like AD and LeBron once again. Next, Montrezl Harrell, 6,100. I like him. He's a guy that has been around like even over the 7K price tag last year. There's some foul trouble concern, but that's not something that I'm going to worry about or I'm going to fade just because of that. Harrell, he's going to be playing off the bench, but he's probably going to get more minutes than Ivica Zubac. So he's a good fantasy producer. 6,100 seems a little bit too cheap for him. And then these other guys, I'm not really going to be playing too much of, or maybe any, in fact. But with Zion out, Nikola Melli, 3K, he's priced at the minimum. He's known for his shooting, but I think he can definitely get you there based like just shooting alone. But he's actually had a pretty good offseason in terms of the other stats that he's been getting, and if he starts, this is going to be probably the highest owned slate or highest owned player on the slate because he's the minimum. We don't know how the lineup's going to look like exactly, but with how Favors are going to be starting at the center, Okafor backing up, probably that's going to be how it is. Maybe Okafor will start at center, Favors starts at power forward, but I think that Melly starting at power forward just provides better spacing. Probably going to be what the Pelicans do, but definitely monitor what the Pelicans announce later on. But Melly going to be a top value play probably. Now, last center, Gasol for 5,500. I think he's a bit too cheap because he is a very solid all-around center. And again, Toronto, they're going to have to rely on some of these other guys. So Gasol probably going to have to pick up a little bit of just the remaining pieces. And JaVale McGee, Dwight Howard, I think they're both pretty good plays. They're very interesting because they are priced pretty low. They're going to be pretty solid value plays as well. It seems like they're going to be splitting the minutes at center to start the season. Both of them have double-double upside as well as blocks. Even in a timeshare, I think both of them are capable of getting around 30 DraftKings points in 24 minutes. I think if you're building like only one lineup, it's probably best that you play only one of them, because if you play both, it could cap your upside, but they could definitely get there. Clippers are a pretty solid matchup from what it seems to look like for this season. And I think for if you're making multiple lineups, it definitely makes sense to have both of them in separate ones. Ivica Zubac, 4.7K. He's going to be the starting center, but again, Harrell's probably going to get most of the minutes there. I think with Zubac, he's definitely going to have the foul risk just like Harrell, because he's going to be guarding AD, but he is a very efficient player that can get you a double-double. So I think he's very much in play. And I think overall for the entire slate, my favorite plays are going to be LeBron and Anthony Davis. Probably going to be for a lot of you guys as well, but I just think it's the obvious thing to do on this slate because there are a lot of value plays. Like I mentioned, like if Nicola Melli starts, then that's going to be a terrific value play at 3K. And then guys that I like for other positions like point guard, probably like Rondo also if he starts again, and Lou Will at shooting guard. Center, maybe I could play like Melly at center if I want to play an extra forward. There's a lot that you can do with guys like LeBron who can also play point guard and guard. So pretty nice, just like position flexibility to build the lineup that you want for this opening slate. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be trying to be just like more consistent in this NBA season uploading my videos. Also, follow me on Twitter at Boffles. Link will be in the description below. Because please do change as the day goes on when injuries pop up. So thank you guys for watching, and if you have any questions, please just leave a comment down below or message me on Twitter, DM me, whatever works for you. Thank you guys for watching again. Bye.